a few years ago, it was in 2019. It was the 50 years of man landing on the moon. And a lot of people asking the question, why 50 years we have never go back, we have never be able to go to the moon again, not only America. So for me, this is also very puzzle question. And I was thinking about it for about a few months. Of course, I read a lot of relevant papers. And then one day I had a dream about how this could happen again. And so everything starting with a dream. It's kind of fiction, but when I'm writing it, I didn't really think what type of book it is. I just would like to say this is possible and everything, technology is there. We should go back to the moon. But the only thing is we should do it commercially, not by government. Because the government will do it with a political background. And there's no reason to compete and to make a big political goal to go to the moon again, because it is second already, it's not the first. So all government around the world doesn't have the real motivation at that time. So only commercial business or commercial space, and now we call it new space, can bring this into truth, into reality. So that was all background about this book. And I was talking about new space, talking about all the key technical elements to go back to the moon. And if engineer look at the book, they can feel it is feasible. It is feasible. What do you need? All there already. So it's the only problem is money game, and the money will come from the customer. There's only a few chapters or few pages talking about your feeling when you're looking back on the moon, looking back to the Earth. You feel very much attached. The Earth is so beautiful. It's blue planet into white cloud floating, and it's so big. Compare with you look the moon from the Earth, surface of the Earth, it's more than three times bigger, and it's rotating. The moon is always there. You see only one face. The other side you don't see them, but the Earth is rotating. 24 hours one position, and you feel your family is there, your friend is there, your loved one is there, and you really are touched by the scenery you see there. And it's similar like when you go on top of a mountain and you see everything below you, and then you're coming down from the mountain, you change yourself, it's really changed. Many people see that. You will never looking at the small things and get about that to have general opinion about your life. So when you go to the moon, looking back to the Earth, you get a kind of enlightenment in your mind. You change yourself, and that is because of that, we should send more people there. When you have more people there, particularly if you send all these the leaders there, politicians there, and when they're coming back, we will have less troubles in the world. We probably will have no war, and the human beings just turn into one united race. We are one, just one kind of. The difference between us is much less than the common part of ourselves. So you will have enlightenment from that distance. So the Apollo astronauts say that many times, but there are only 24 of them. In all human beings, there are only 24 of them. And they were walking around, telling people the truth, but the voice too weak. And they are dying. Only a few left. And 2 months ago, I met the youngest Apollo astronauts, Charlie Duke. And he was telling, I am the youngest human beings on the moon. I'm still the youngest. Trying to change this because he's 87 already.
Yeah.
So you don't hear too much about them anymore because there are only a few of them. So they are different from the ISS astronauts. ISS astronauts on the International Space Station, you don't see the whole complete Earth. You see only the curve. To see the atmosphere. They also change the environment, and they are still different for looking back first from the moon, from the far distance. So what we should do is not just have a ride, go there, have a tour. We will change ourselves. So it is much important than have a tour. And what you can do, it is by business, is by commercial size, by new space. New space will iterate the market little by little, and the government space will get more and more expensive, more and more expensive. If you fly with the International Space Station as a tourism, you'll pay 20 million US dollars 20 years ago. Now you pay $15 million right now after 20 years. So it's more than double. Because the government space will never lose. It will have much high evaluation of quality control. So if you want to a failure, then you make it more expensive, you make more redundancy, you make more tests, and become a longer period of development, become even expensive and even more fear to be failed. So there's a bad circle there. So commercial space is different. And beginning they are allowed to have failure, they want to iterate faster. So look at Elon Musk. It made a faster development of a new rocket, and now he can retrieve his rocket has been reused 13 times now. So the price is way down. So only new space can change the scenario, not governmental space. And governmental space is spending is increasing slowly together with GDP, and the GDP is increasing slowly, very slow. So I'm trying to telling people, technically this is feasible. The way to do it is by new space. Not much difficult. I finished it in about 1 month. Because the dream is in my mind, I trying to put everything down quickly. Otherwise, I will difficult to continue. Something it will forgot. So it will forget. So it is a novel, but when I write it, I just want to write a story. So there's no bars around me, so I just do whatever I want. So it is only when I finish, I send it to the publisher, and they say this is a fiction. I didn't realize what kind of fiction. They say this is a hardcore fiction. So there's no limitation for me when I write it down, and all the technology knowledge are there. It's in my mind. I've been working for them for a long time. So it is not difficult for me to put them together. It's for the technical part. And for the story part, it's a little bit simple, but it's a little bit like the potato plants.
Yes.
It's simple, but it's true. It's really coming from the heart. Yeah, I like this little prince. This has been translated into many languages, also Chinese. And but only recently I read it again, and I found it's very original. And I feel myself at the same feeling about it. It's dreaming of the stars, traveling between the stars, and the friendship and the love, and with the Ross was regretted a little bit. And all these are very original feelings about human beings. And like a child. So I like the way to express himself. And I think sometimes ideas lose that sentiment. So you should really telling yourself we are all child long time ago. We should not forget about that. And only the true feeling of human beings can survive, can stay for longer. And all the trickiness is bad. We should work in favor for our dream. I feel honored, of course. This is I didn't dream about that. It comes with an award, and how can you, whether you can get an award is also rather quite unknown, because this is a very distinguished. It's a very good award, and every 2 years only one people to get an award, and our Chinese COSPAR committee proposed me 3 times, and this is the third time, and I'm very happy I got it. They give the award to me, and automatically this award is accompanied with an asteroid, name of asteroid, and somebody, the engineer from our center, they are calculating orbit working for asteroid, determining this asteroid is far away. It's far away. It has you can look at it only by telescope.
Okay.
But the size is quite big. It's 9 kilometers in diameter, roughly. So it's in the asteroid belt, and I'm happy it's not a near Earth object. Otherwise, it will have a collision with Earth. So it is. I talked with some astronomy observers in China, and they said they will invite me to look at it next spring, when the light is brighter, when the time is better, the recompose update. It's very important to have international collaboration, because space is for all human beings. So when you explore the space, when you go there, and all message you get, all information you get, new discovery you get, has to be shared with other countries, or with the entire scientific community. So us, besides, it's nature to have to promote international collaboration. But space, particularly the industry, they are very nationalized. So when you come together, you need trust. Otherwise, you cannot work for one satellite together, because you are really in one system. So it's called system collaboration. You put in an instrument on other countries' platform, and they have to be connected. So we have a very good collaboration with ESA. The mission is called Double Star. The cluster is a ESA mission, and the Double Star is a Chinese mission. So on Double Star, we gave half of the payload, size payload to the opportunity to ESA. So ESA is an 8 scientific instrument flying on the platform of Double Star. But we are leading a team to build an interface device. So the interface device has to talk with each European instrument. So we have been talking about more than 1 year, and one day we bring our instrument to Imperial College in London, and all the European instruments are sent there, also in the same lab, and we are connecting. So we did it very efficiently because we have an interface document. Everything was built upon the interface document. So we did it very successfully. So one day the science director of ESA come to Imperial College, and he said, "Wow, you are connected. You are connected." He was so happy. So from papers, talks, and now really hardware connected. So everybody was really happy. Normally, it should take 3 months for that connection, interface test. So we did it in 1 month.
Oh.
Very successful.
Well done.
So everybody was happy because, and then from that, both sides build up trust. But they know we can do it, and we know what the interface is, what they are doing. And finally, this two satellite Double Star, or two satellite, flying in China, and it was the first space science satellite program in China. So it was very successful. So coming back to the story, is trust. Without mutual trust, you cannot collaborate that way. Yeah. I didn't have the chance to meet. He's always in space. But I love his activities out in the space, playing the saxophone, and that's the very important nature of human space. You have to do something there. Scientific experiments, yes, but many people don't understand it. So you have to do something which is attract the public attentions. So what he did is very good to attract public attention, and that brings you, and he tells everybody what he feels in space. When he look at Earth, what he feels. So he was touched also by that scenery. There's viewing platform in International Space Station. You have 6 windows around you, and if you feel boring, you stay there and looking at Earth. So he spent quite a lot of time there, and I can understand it. So when you are there, you are still one part of the Earth, and you feel you have connection with Earth. So I think he is very good as well, not able to reach. As soon as possible, I hope. But it will take another 10 to 20, 15 to 20 years. Looking at the U.S. program, Artemis is trying to bring the first women astronaut back to the moon on 2024, but I don't think it's possible anymore. But 2025 or even 2026 is okay. So we have some expectations, and that will build up the platform. So once the platform is built up, more and more astronauts will bring back. But this is still governmental space, very expensive, very expensive. And the Chinese space program, manned space program, is planning to go to the moon also. It's probably it will happen around 2030, so a few years later. But the matter is, for Chinese, this is still very, very interesting. We have to do that. And so all this manned lunar activity, technology related, manned lunar activity will be built up again, will come back again. And we cannot use the old Apollo technology anymore because computer chip and everything changes. So with that, I'm sure this governmental lunar space activity will not sustain forever, because if there's only science-driven motivations, the government will not spend much money there. It's too much. So after that, there will be commercial lunar activities, commercial lunar tourism. So at the beginning, probably is using the governmental technology, and then we will land and go, and later on we'll land and stay, and then build up a hotel. If you want to have 2 or 3 days lunar space tourism, you need a hotel. You need a service, local service. It's cheaper. Then bring everything there. So you produce the fuels there for rocket. You produce water there from the lunar soil, and those will be developed in the next 10 years. All this technology can be used for future lunar space tourism. So then it takes another 5 to 10 years for the first lunar tourism. And then so the book was talking about 2042. So 20 years from now, I believe it will become true. And price will come down to the level of, it's difficult to guess, but $1 million, $2 million, roughly in the same order. So which means a middle class or even upper middle class or even middle class can think about it to have a 1 trip with the family. It's also my pleasure, my dream to go to the lunar hotel, and I wish the French readers of this little book they can enjoy it, and I hope they trust what I writing down and became one of the lunar tourism in the future. Surely, particularly for the children, for the young people.